My name is Andy Pro. I may be the oldest here. I'll be 84 next week. I don't remember that date because it doesn't matter. Let me resume the story. High school graduation was days away. Classes visited a lake outside Detroit. I swam to my friend's raft. I got terrible cramps halfway to the floating platform. After losing my kick, I drowned. I fell once and struggled to rise. I saw my friends on the platform from the top. I waved but couldn't stay afloat. They waved back, thinking I was playing. After that, I sank and never surfaced again. As I descended into the lake, it got colder. In June, Michigan lakes are cold. What about summer? Shaking and shivering, I fell deeper. I suddenly felt the weeds growing deeper at my feet. I lost my vision. It may have been because my eyes closed or because it was that dark. Finally, sitting, I hit the lake bottom. I thought, great. Now I can push myself up with my hands. My hands got stuck in the mud as I pushed down. I was terrified and in excruciating pain. A voice in my head started talking to me. The voice said, "Andy, relax and let go for a minute." I said, "I can't. I need one breath." "No, Andy, relax. You must stop. So let go." I add, "Okay, I'll let go, but do you promise to let me continue to fight?" The voice said, "Yes, we promise." So I let go. I popped out of my body, frozen, shivering, and shaking, when I thought, go. In an instant, I was in a tunnel looking around. I wasn't cold. I could breathe. I didn't recognize my body. I saw my body at the lake bottom. Although I couldn't see down there, I could see it. I looked away unconcerned. The tunnel was visible when I turned around. Light shone at the tunnel's end. I said, "Observe the light. So bright." I expected retinal burning. It was brighter than I could imagine, like 1,000 suns exploding at once. A gentle magnet pulled me into the tunnel. Pulling me into the tunnel. A breeze hits me as I enter the tunnel. I'm in a basketball coliseum-sized sphere in the next instant. I'm hovering in the ball center, but I can't see the light next to me. Since I have no mouth, the light and I are talking. Despite not having eyes or ears, I can communicate, see, and hear. As I look inside the giant sphere, there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of tiny TVs and movie screens. I did each one in one of my many lives. Focusing on one would instantly, almost magically transport me there. I repeated what I saw, but I was there. One difference was that when I relived a life experience, I knew and understood what everyone was thinking and feeling about our interaction. I pop out of the sphere again in an instant and in the tunnel, getting close to the light. The light in front of me is a giant silhouette, like a rifle-range target. I understand what that target looks like from ring work, and it was similar. It was a light without gender, but it was loving and warm and pulling me. I only understood English in my body at the time, so the light said 3 things in English as I got closer. Light said, "Andy, don't worry. Love you, Andy. Andy, we adore you." After the light said, "Andy, we love you," billions of holographic lights like me said, "Andy, welcome home." That was my best feeling ever. It was great being home. After the billions of light pieces said, "Andy, welcome home," I was absorbed into the light. I was absorbed into the light, not entered. If the light were a large glass of water and Andy was a teaspoon of sugar, you'd put the sugar in the water, spin it, and then look for Andy. Everywhere. Where's light? Everywhere. I became light. I was neither greater nor lesser than the light. I was thrilled to be a light hologram. I have chills all over as I speak. I remember it like it happened 10 seconds ago, not 65 years ago. This feeling has never left me and kept me going when I felt like I didn't belong. More on that later. The light says, "Let's go, Andy. Any questions for me?" I replied, "No, I don't have any questions." Why? After being absorbed by the light, I knew everything it knew. I knew everything. I did. In the light, I knew everything. We crossed universes. I felt like I was there for years on Earth. I wasn't. Someone took 10 to 15 minutes to find my body and bring me up, so I was there for 10 minutes. I wasn't there, so I didn't know anything. The body was there, but I wasn't home. I was illuminated. I'm loving the light. Very funny. We chatted and laughed. We discussed viewing my life in the present. We laughed at my life, Andy. You were too serious on all these planets. Life should be enjoyed. You came to the planets to experience light, because light has no highs or lows. Nobody is fat or thin. Light and day are absent. All unconditional love consumes and absorbs. What it feels like to be an entity is its peak. After that, the light says, Andy, it's time to go back. No, 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 I said. No way, not returning. I'm afraid not. The light repeats, Andy, you're going back. Excuse me, did you hear me? I'm staying. I'm home. Why would I return? Third time, the light said, and you're going back. I was stuffed back into my body when I heard the key in back, which was now on the beach sand instead of the lake's mud. From drowning to being stuffed back into my body, I never lost consciousness. There are no gaps or dark spots. I remember every moment and second of that time. Now that I'm alive, I cry and my classmates are glad too. Although I'm not happy about it, they're glad I didn't die on senior picnic day. I look around and ask, "Oh, why are you crying?" Saying, "It must be pain." Yeah, it must be pain. I said, "Tell me what happened. Do you recall?" I told my first big lie. I don't remember a damn thing. It's blank because I couldn't explain the light. Not even sure what it was. Explaining that how, born and raised Catholic, my confessions were weekly. I was devout. When I went to lake, what I saw and experienced in the light didn't match what I learned on earth. That's it. I go. I thought, I know the outcome. I know I'll forget. I started a forgetting journey and couldn't. I dreamed about it nightly. It felt like a foreign land to me. I didn't belong. I belonged light. I remember that. That's my destination. That's my goal. Over 65 years later, I'm still here. Andy, why wait? I'm sorry, but I lived that experience 24/7. I searched for 25 years. I researched all major religions. I meditated. I did various yoga. I tried my hardest to grasp this. After reading Dr. Moody's book, I said, that's what I had. I had a near-death experience early on, but it took me almost 30 years to realize it. The phrase didn't exist until I read it in the book. So I say, okay, now I know what it is. It took 10 to 15 years before I mentioned it. For nearly 40 years, I kept quiet. I then discussed it. I found IONS. I joined, started doing TV, radio. But Andy, what's the point? That was so wonderful and blissful. I remember the light saying, Andy, everything on Earth is an illusion. It's fake. Realities are illuminated. Earth is like a Broadway play with 8 billion actors, and everyone contributes. That's not true. Reality only exists in light. As a stranger in a strange land, dying has been the most significant thing I've ever experienced on Earth. Without death, Earth dies, enters the light, and returns. Even after years of trial and struggle and trying to understand, my near-death experience will always be with me, making me who I am.